everyone, and welcome to This Old Arcade. I'm Tim. Today I'm going to be working on a crisis zone gun. I'm going to be kind of rebuilding this. The tip broke off and the little handle here broke off, and the lens isn't in there. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to kind of show you the difference between a crisis zone gun setup and some of these older optical guns, like your Nintendo Hogan's Alley duck hunt swivel gun, and a HAP Atari type gun for an Area 51 or lethal enforcers. These guns are receivers. There's a phototransistor inside that receives light from your CRT, and the crisis zone gun is an emitter. It sends out an infrared signal that's picked up by a camera in the machine. So let's take a look and see what we can tell by the differences here. Right here I have an optical sensor board for the HAP gun. I'm not sure which one this is, if it's HAP or Imperial, but you have your, if you can see your photocell there, your phototransistor. We're going to take a look at this transistor, and I'll kind of show you how that is able to receive light and complete a circuit to show the game that it's getting light. So right here, I'm going to move the camera in closer, so hang on a second. Alright, so I'm set up here. I've got my phototransistor here. It's just like a regular transistor, emitter, collector, and base, only for these phototransistors, the base is irrelevant. It's using this receptor in here as the base for the control on how the electrons flow through the transistor. So I'm going to hook this up to my ohm meter here. We'll do ohms. I could do it on a diode test too, but we'll try ohms here first. So I've got this blocked right now, and it's reading, it's shorted there, it's reading, what is that? Yeah, when it's blocked, it's reading open. I bring it into the light over here, the resistance gets less. When I'm under this fluorescent light here, we're down to about 8.5 k ohms. If I take a bright LED light and I shine it right up to it, we're down to maybe 130, 140 ohms. Now if I take, let's say, I've got a green laser here, pretty intense light, even though, oh gosh, my battery's getting dead on here. Okay, so it's pretty intense there. I'm going to shine that into that photoreceptor. Now we're around 50 ohms. You can see as I shut it on and off, I'm going from open around 60 ohms. So the brighter the light, the more that's going to conduct. And then that's the wrong one here. Here we go. You've got a circuit on here that will amplify that and send a signal to the board. On a raster monitor, it scans from left to right, top to bottom. So when this sees a certain point on the screen, the computer is able to figure out at which point in time this is seeing the electron beam come out of the back of the tube. So it depends on the system timing a lot. Now, if we look at our crisis zone gun board, I've got that right here. Most of the circuitry on here deals with the gun knocker, the motor, the gun motor. And then there's also a very simple circuit for this infrared LED right here. There's a ground, a positive voltage, and a switch that just turns it on or off. It's pretty simple. Coming out of the gun, you've got this this LED, this infrared LED focusing light through our little lens here. You can see the lens there. And then there's a camera inside the machine that's in the top and goes down through a two-way mirror. The camera itself, right here, it's a little CCD camera. It operates off of 12 volts. It's ground plus 12 and a video out, and then your video ground. And it's got this little infrared filter right here that filters out the rest of the background light that's going into the camera from the front of the game. So let's power this up, and I want to show you what this is going to look like on our we have a little monitor and a waveform monitor set up here. Okay, so I've got this hooked up to it's a standard NTSC waveform monitor. There's a vector scope here, but we're not broadcasting color, so we're not going to see anything there. These are used primarily by broadcasters to ensure that broadcast video signals are at a certain standard. Then I've got a little, just a little monitor here. Now you see, as I move the camera around here, you can kind of see the fluorescent light and then the changes on the waveform monitor there. If I take my my flashlight, this LED flashlight, you can clearly see how that's kind of a light against dark background there. I can give you a closer up look there. Then we take our laser light. I need fresh batteries in this thing. Flex that. And then there's this is our LED laser light. You can see the intensity, it really peaks on our waveform monitor. So let's give you a little closer look with the camera here. It looks like, if you can see it very clearly, right in the center of the screen here, there's a bad pixel on the camera itself, on the CCD. And you'll see that on cameras a lot. See right there, there's that white dot in the center of the screen. This thing on the side is just the fluorescent light. Zoom back out here. All right, so it's kind of what our little LED flashlight looks like here. Kind of move it around. You can see how easy it is. If you're pointing a gun at it, pretend our little laser pointer here is a gun. You can see that laser pointer easily move around. I'm going to go ahead and take this infrared filter off here, and we'll just look at the unfiltered monochrome video out of the camera here. It's a wide-angle lens. Kind of gives you that fisheye look. It's got some kind of automatic gain control. See, there's me there. Okay, there. It's got some kind of automatic gain control where if it's in a really dark area, you can see the palm of my hand there. Oh gosh. You can really focus close on that. And there's not much light there, and then it goes to the bright light. Look at the camera here. Yeah, there's our studio light and video camera there. So that's kind of what this crisis zone camera looks like. I'll zoom in on the camera itself here and kind of show you what it looks like up close. That's it there. It's a pretty slick setup. You can see the backside, the lens. It runs pretty warm at 12 volts in our connector. So just a nice little CCD. I'll make sure to clean all this out as I put it back on. This is a spare camera that I have. Well, anyhow, let's start the tear down on the gun, and we'll see what's inside. All right, one very more important thing I got to show you about this little camera here. It's the focus. Let me get this where you can see it here. This lens rotates. You can see as I turn it counterclockwise, it pulls out. You can see the CCD right there. As you rotate this in, it focuses on objects further away. As it comes out, it focuses on objects closer. So if you're having a sighting problem, you may need to go in and refocus your camera. I'll demonstrate for you here. Okay, we're focused on our little field monitor here. And I've got a shot of the ceiling. So as I'm rotating this out, you can see it's getting blurry and blurry and blurry. So you can go out further here. You can see there's, oh my gosh, that's my finger. And I'm just like millimeters away from the surface of that lens. And then that's blurry. So I'm going to bring this ceiling and my nose back into focus here. Okay, kind of in focus. And I put my finger up close there, you can see that's blurry. So I think the trick is you get this this little filter here as the LED infrared strikes this here. You probably need to focus closely onto the back side of this little lens here. So just wanted to show you that. Oh, you can see me right here. Okay, well, just wanted to show you that. Alright, so I've got my screws loosened up here. I'm going to pull this off. I think I got it all loosened. I am going to have to replace one of these because the head is kind of widened out. This is the inside of your gun here. You've got your motor drive board and your LED infrared, and then your motor, your trigger and switch, and then your cable. So we're just going to swap out the guts from gun to gun and go out to the location, install it, and see if it works. Okay, so let's see here. Here's my new case. It's got the lens in there already. I'm going to leave that. And I'll use the same trigger and spring here. This is pretty easy to transfer over. I've got another Allen on the back side for the motor, and one for the harness on the butt here. Just lay that aside. I think I might be missing one screw, so I'll need to get two from the hardware store. Okay. All right. So we've got our motor. The trigger switch just kind of goes into place, held into place by these two little nubs here in the plastic housing. Okay. This motor here, this is heavy. Without that, it's a pretty light gun. I put this board here into its guides to make sure the wiring harness doesn't get pinched. There we go. This here, that goes that way. So I'm going to put this screw in on the back side. Let's see what size this is. Looks like it's a 5/64 Allen. Okay, there's that. We'll get the back side of this motor in place. this motor's in good shape. This counterweight, or this weight here, it's spring loaded, so this is kind of a spring drive here off the back of the motor here. Okay, got that lined up. Go. Got it. Okay, I'm just going to snug them down, not over torque them. Make sure this is all where it's supposed to be. Okay, that looks good. I'll fit this other half in place here. Make sure everything closes nice and neat. Okay, looks good. Start feeding my other screws in place. This system with the camera is a really cool idea. I know there's other systems with sensor panels for the infrared, and I don't know which is really better, but I know this particular system, I would imagine if you don't have your screen clean and the two-way mirror, if that's not in good shape, then you would definitely have problems with this system, whereas oh, that's the one I'm going to replace. Whereas if you had a sensor panel around the screen, you're not going to be quite as subject to dust. Long one here. That's good. Got a couple of shorties here. Broken pieces here, a couple of screws. Alright, so in lieu of some missing hardware, this is our redone crisis zone gun. This part here bolts into the control panel, and it's got that nice security chain that I really like, and it's a really rugged shielding for the cable. So let's go to the location. We'll install this and see how it's working. All right, so we got our gun back together. We're going to test it. Should Alright, since we have been fine, I've got the shaker motor disc just to save and keep it going bad. So let's take a look and see where that camera is. There we go. We're going to get this good and clean while we're in here. Move the camera closer here. Right up in here. That's where our camera is. It's hard to see it, but there's the connector, the camera right here where my hand is. Okay, I'm going up on the top of the cabinet here. You can see this is the access panel for the camera. Take these two screws out and that whole camera comes out. Alright, so here's our gun check here. It's a little off on the bottom here. But that's that infrared going through the screen, up through the two-way mirror, up to the camera, and it's able to figure out where it's supposed to be positioned. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed us going over the crisis zone gun and how that works with that camera system. Sorry about the audio at the location, my mic went out. I've got a remote control here, so you can see that infrared light coming out of the LED in my little TV remote. I can't see that with my naked eye, but the camera can. Most digital cameras are sensitive to those longer wavelengths of light. Red light's a longer wavelength than, let's say, ultraviolet, which is a higher frequency, so it's a shorter wavelength. The camera sees that light, and it converts it to the nearest of what it can duplicate on your monitor, which is a red color. So anyhow, hope you all found that useful and instructive. Coming up, we also have this. This is an original wiring harness for a Nintendo red tent. This is for Ricardo's red tent that he wants to get ready for ZapCon this year. We're going to be re-going through that cabinet, restoring that. Somebody had converted it to a DJ board and hacked the harness, so we're going to go back to the original Nintendo. Anyhow, thanks for joining us here at this old arcade, and we'll see you next time.